In today's episode of The Tenant, I'm in the educational hub of the western suburbs of Mumbai, in Vile Parle. Our tenant today is a young student staying on rent with two other roommates. What works for her and what doesn't? Let's meet her.
Hi Vishal.
Hi Prishita.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm in particular very excited to meet a student. You're the first one featuring on our show. So what is it that brings a student from Calcutta into a place like Mumbai?
So I'd applied for a lot of places for my education, and I felt like Mumbai would be the right place since it was the financial hub, and I wanted to, kind of get out of my house, experiment something in a different city and figure out my own journey, and I think that's why I shifted over here.
Okay. So independence
Yeah.
is one thing you wanted, and from Calcutta to Mumbai, that's what made you come.
Yeah.
Okay. So why this location?
So this location is actually very close to my college. I mean, we take an auto, it's just 10 minutes away. It's also very close to the station. So just 5 minutes walking, and the station practically connects all of Mumbai. So this location was the best suited.
So how big is this apartment of yours? The hall is, much bigger than I'd expected it to be.
So this is basically a 2 BHK. It's roughly 700 to 750 square feet. Yeah, it has a hall, dining, kitchen, all rooms here.
Okay. And what's the structure of this apartment? Which part of the apartment gets used the most by you?
I spend a lot of my time in my room. So I basically go to college, then when I come back, I'll take a short nap and I'll begin working, and I'll work from my home mostly. So I'll work from there. Sometimes I'll work in the dining room. Sometimes we're out here in the living room having conversations, but most of my time in the room. Yeah.
How easy or tough is it to stay with roommates?
It is a journey, yes.
Okay.
Basically what I feel is, I think when you're in your house, you're really coddled by your parents, right? And I think when you step out, you realize that I think a lot of your actions do have impacts, and you're not going to get coddled by the world. It's very important to put yourself in the shoes of your other roommates and then kind of take decisions rather than, and also accepting your own mistakes, understanding yourself, realizing who you are, and all of these I think would be good learnings that I've had sharing my flatmate with.
So how did you get a roommate? Are there platforms that connect two people together to find an apartment? What's the arrangement like?
So there are many platforms actually. There are Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. I think being in this NM ecosystem, you'll develop this network of many friends. You can just ping people and kind of people make groups and kind of find flatmates. Luckily, my flatmates are from my class only. So someone had put in our class group that we're looking for flatmates, and I had texted, and that's how we had met initially.
And how is the arrangement of this house done with roommates? Is it a complicated Ekta Kapoor type arrangement, or is it a lot simpler?
No, it's not complicated. It's a lot simpler. So we're just 3 people, and it's a 2 BHK. So I have my own room, and my other 2 roommates share.
So Prashita, how expensive is it to order food from outside for students? Students are always on a budget.
Yeah. Vishal, it's very, very expensive over here. I mean, so I stayed in Mumbai for about 15 days when I was hunting for this flat actually. And around I was eating outside every day, and I'd spent close to about 10,000 rupees just in those, 15-20 days. And I feel like currently right now per person we pay around 2,000 for the cook. So total we're paying 6,000, and per person is 2,000. And groceries also come down to just 1,000, 2,000 something. It's very, very minimal. I mean, when you compare to ordering outside.
So basically your costs come down by more than 50% if you just eat from your cook.
Yeah. Healthy and better option, and cheaper too.
Okay. So this is the living room, the kitchen.
Yeah.
Up ahead will be the 2 bedrooms.
Yes. So these are my roommates, Muskan and Sanya.
Hi.
Yeah. And the best thing about this room is that it has a balcony, but we don't really use it that much. I mean, we just hang our clothes here.
Okay.
It's pretty convenient, gets good
Does
sunlight.
Does it have a view?
Not really, but it gets great sunlight, so that's pretty helpful.
So this is the balcony used for the simple purpose of drying clothes.
Yes.
All these things in this room?
Yes.
Given by the landlord or you all bought it?
Yes, so this room is pretty spacious and all of this furnishing has been provided us by the landlord, even the AC and everything. So in general in this flat, the AC, geyser, so these amenities have been provided by our owner. Just the washing machine is from a previous flat, so that's a second hand washing machine which we had purchased for about 6,500 rupees, and the fridge is on rent, so that rent cost is rupees 500.
So was it a key requirement that you एक घर चाहिए था जो fully furnished हो या semi furnished भी चलता?
नहीं, हम थोड़ा ज़्यादा furnished के towards ही inclined थे, because basically getting a semi-furnished flat means you don't know what you're paying for. I mean, you know that there's going to be additional charges as soon as you start renting furniture. So hence we wanted a fully furnished flat where we know कि इतने rent में इतना पैसा देंगे तो पूरा काम खत्म हो जाएगा. Because that's very important. I mean, as a student we do keep a track of accounts in our head कि कितना पैसा कहाँ खर्चा हो रहा है and everything, and we want to pre-plan it rather than post-pay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well said. So how many apartments did you see before you finalized on this one? How long was the search?
So this was actually the first apartment we saw, but we didn't get it then. So we had just come to Mumbai, so me and Sanya had come here and we had no experience flat hunting. We knew living here, our previous flat was actually seen by one of our other flatmates, and we saw this flat, we were like, this is so good, it's too good to be true. The rent was a bit higher, that's why we didn't agree to it at that moment itself. We thought we'll see some other options, and then when we saw that every time we would see other flats, we would just come back and discuss कि यार वो flat बहुत अच्छा था, उसी को ले लेते हैं क्या, should we just pay the rent and everything. I think that's when we came to terms with just rent in Vileparle itself would be on these lines and all. So yeah.
Was it a shock to see the rentals in Mumbai from Calcutta? You come from a city which has very modest property rates, both in terms of buying as well as renting.
Yeah.
क्या ये काफी बड़ा shock था?
It was a shock. I mean, paying this much amount in general on rent was a shock. But we came to terms with it because I'll tell you, initially my parents are very keen on safety and all. So they had wanted me to kind of live in a hostel or a PG. And when I was looking for hostels and PG, the rent over there was 45,000 for 3 sharing. So like per person, I'm paying 45k for a 3 sharing room.
Okay. And
Yeah.
this is your bedroom?
Yes,
right?
this is my room,
Okay.
where I spend most of my time.
Okay, this seems to be quite minimalistic.
Yes.
So is that by choice? That's
Yes,
where you live?
Yes. This is how I live. I don't like a lot of clutter, just and I'm very aesthetic focused. So I like whitewashed aesthetic rooms and all. So that's how I've kept this as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And just when you and your 2 friends were checking out this place,
Yeah.
dispute हुआ कि कौन सा room किसको मिलना चाहिए?
No. So I had actually initially told them that I would prefer a room with the attached washroom, and this was the room. So that's why I got this one.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically the roommates were a lot more flexible.
Yeah, and my roommates also wanted a study table, so it worked out better for them because I was fine working on the bed itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Prishita, what is the rent for this sort of an apartment?
So Vishal, this is currently a 55,000 2 BHK house, and we've split it between 3 people where my 2 flatmates share a room. So they're paying 14 each, and I pay 27,000 since I've taken an individual room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 55,000 and you paid 27,000
Yes.
out of it
Yes.
because this room you have taken
Yes,
solely.
yes.
Okay. How do students like you cut costs? Are there some? Is there a magic formula? Like people जो बाहर से आ रहे हैं मुंबई में देखना चाहिए कि कैसे costs कम हो सकते हैं.
I think first is recognizing where the costs go. So when I was staying in my previous flat, I saw a major part of my cost went from traveling from that flat to the station. So auto costs can be very expensive. So since this flat is near the station, just 2 minutes walking, a lot of our costs get cut down over there, and just taking the train to travel. I mean, it's 20 rupees up and down from Borivali to Churchgate all the way. So that's very economical. And another thing would be just being very conscious in general. I think we switch off the electricity, and we make sure that the water is not running. All of this sort of conscious behavior towards conserving kind of helps us cut costs. We have to be very aware and all.
So how much is the entire expense for Prishita in a month? Forget the rent alone. Besides the rent, how much does Prishita land up spending?
I would say around 35 to 40,000. I'm taking it on a higher note here, but yeah, 35 to 40,000 including everything.
So okay. So outside of the rent, just 8,000 rupees. You work on a very tight ship.
Yes. I'm mostly at home, right? I think the more you go out, the more expenses you have. But since I'm working throughout the day, I'm mostly at home, so the expenses kind of narrow down there.
Okay. What's the work you do? You said you're a student,
Yes.
but you also do some work.
Yes. So basically, I have my own company.
So what's the business about?
So basically, I run this influencer marketing agency with a very predominant focus on LinkedIn. So we work with 40 plus brands like Spotify, Amazon, Dunzo, Aditya Birla to help help them work with creators like Ankur Warikoo, Akshat Srivastava and market themselves on LinkedIn.
Okay, interesting. This is the bathroom?
Yes, this is the bathroom. It's the attached washroom with my room.
This is the one factor that made you choose this room versus this one.
Yes, having an attached washroom.
Okay. You said about your business.
Yeah.
Does that mean that part of this rent that you mentioned is funded by you as well?
Yes. So we started the company around 6 months back, and I think for the past 2-3 months I've been actually able to pay my rent on my own rather than asking from my parents, because the business is doing pretty well.
Okay. So the first few months your parents were helping you.
In Mumbai.
Now you're managing to raise enough capital for yourself.
Yes. So the financial independence starts from, I think, paying your own rent, right?
Okay. So good, you've made an early beginning.
Yeah.
So in your view, Prishita, what is the one big strength of this apartment and one big weakness?
So the strength, I would say, would be that it's pretty safe actually. So I think one reason we were considering a hostel was, they are biometric, camera, etc. But even living in a flat like this, so this building has cameras, it has guards 24/7. So night there's a guard, morning there's a guard. So it's pretty safe in that sense. And in terms of weakness, as much as it is closer to the station, there's a lot of train noise that comes, which pretty much interferes in all my calls as well. But yeah, you can hear it right now. So yeah.
I think I heard a noise of flight also. Flight taking off.
Yes, because so Santa Cruz is pretty close to the airport, is also not that far.
Okay, so we spoke about the apartment, the strengths, the weaknesses. What is it about this location that really gets you?
Vishal, let me not tell you right now. I want to show that place to you because it's a place where all college kids are hanging out. It's so happening, and we might as well just get a very tasty snack over there. So let me take you.
Okay, let's go. I'll probably feel old over there, but let's go. So, Prashita, you said this is the place. This is your hangout adda, if I can call it. What are the sort of activities you do over here?
So, going to college or coming here, having a bite at Anand. And I think close by 10-15 minutes away is Juhu Beach. So I think that's a very nice place where we love to go hang out and all.
So do you visit Juhu Beach often?
A lot. It's one of my favorite places.
Isn't it too dirty?
It is, but I just love the sea. I really do. I like how calm it is, or even the waves. So I just like going there and sitting.
So how valuable or important is it to stay in an area which is an educational hub, according to you? Lot of schools over here. I can see everything right here.
Lot of kids as well. So Vishal, basically the thing is, when you're in the middle of it all, right, that's where you meet the most people, and you meet people from all backgrounds, all cities, right, coming here to Mumbai to study here, and people pursuing different sort of interests and all. So in my second year, I was part of a lot of college committees, and that's why I even met my co-founder Dehit, and we started Infi over here. So I feel like that sort of an exposure only comes when you're in the community itself, when you're in the college, and you're exposed to that ideas and energy.
What's the one thing about this area you don't like? It definitely has a good vada pav.
Yeah.
But it seems quite messy.
Yes, it is messy. I think this road gets jammed a lot. This is where the Andheri traffic starts, I'm telling you. Yahan se it's jammed. You sit in the traffic for 1 hour and your life is just gone. It sometimes feels like that.
So what's the one big strength of this surrounding?
I feel like since this is a more college sort of a community, people aren't hesitant to give a flat to, let's say, 3 girls like us, okay? People mostly don't want to give to college kids. They think they'll create a ruckus or something, especially when it's girls, they think more. And I think that was more easier since, it's a college-like community. Plus, even the amount of different types of accommodations. You could have any sort of requirement and you'll find an accommodation, be it a hostel, PG, RK, 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 2.5 BHK. Jo chahiye wo milega if you find it here because of the variety and how it has adapted itself to that.
और सबसे बड़ी weakness क्या है?
I think the weakness would be, as a college girl, so I like shopping a lot, H&M, Zara, but the malls are thoda distant. There's Infinity, but it's in Malad, or I'll have to go to Parel, or I'll have to go to Kulla. So it's not very well connected in terms of going to malls and all. That's hence why we usually go to Juhu Beach. It's close by and all.
And my last question, what next for you? Do you want to be in this locality itself? You want to go outside, different areas, or this is it?
I think post college I might shift out of here because it is very expensive. I mean, coming from a background where I want to become financially independent, I would not be paying that much in rent. I mean, I feel like other localities in Mumbai are cheaper, so I'll kind of look into that soon.
Okay. On
Yeah.
that note, we'll wrap up the chat. Nice to speak with you.
Yeah.
You're the first guest we've had as a student. Different lifestyle, different adjustments. And yeah, next time when I come, you in a different area, probably your
Yeah.
own flat. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, great speaking to you,
All
Vishal.
the best.
Thank you.
Time for the report card. First up at the apartment and building level. It's a reasonably spacious 2-bedroom apartment between 700 to 750 square feet. The building, well, it's an old, ordinary building. In terms of connectivity, that's the real strength of this sort of a building. Railway station is close by. Connectivity even in terms of autos, very convenient. Location, it's a sort of 50-50. In terms of, it has some peaceful pockets, it has some noisy pockets. The big strength within the location aspect is the variety that it offers for students, both in terms of configurations as well as in terms of permissions for bachelors. So all in all, if you're a student looking for options in this part of western suburbs, this is the sort of building and location that can be considered.